Hello everyone. Welcome to the class of Construction Equipment Installation Project and Construction Technology. In this video, we are talking about composition of electrical lighting system. The electrical lighting system is mainly composed of household lines, distribution boxes, indoor wiring, electrical equipment, lighting appliances, and so on. The basic trend is that there is an entry line to introduce electricity from the outside into the building, into the main distribution box, distributed to the distribution box by the main line. The distribution box of a building is generally not more than 3 levels. So the distribution box is connected to the user distribution box through the branch line. The household distribution box is then connected to the electrical equipment, or the distribution box is directly connected to the electrical equipment. Let's take a look at the various connection links. The entry line from the building outside into the indoor distribution box cabinet. This section of the power line is called the entry line. The main forms of power supply inlet wire are overhead inlet wire and cable inlet wire. And the overhead inlet wire is composed of service line and the service connection line. The section of overhead wire between the distribution line and the first support point before the user's entry line is called service connection line. A section of wire leading into the room from the access line is called service line. Aerial entry device by the entry line crossarm insulator. Entry line and entry pipe composition. Cable into the cable is generally buried into the line. The cable through the building to wear steel pipe protection and do a good job of waterproof, fireproof treatment. In the lighting project, only the production and installation of the low voltage cable terminal head is considered, and the installation of the connecting cable is included in the external network project. The second component of the distribution box. The distribution box generally includes control equipment, protection equipment and metering instruments. 3 components. The role is to accept, distribute, control, protect and measure electric energy. The building lighting distribution system is usually carried out in the way of 3-level distribution. So the lighting distribution box can be divided into the lighting general distribution box, the floor distribution box, and the indoor distribution box, room switch box. The lighting main distribution box distributes the 3-phase total power supply into the building to the distribution box on each floor. Floor distribution boxes distribute power to indoor distribution boxes on each floor. The indoor distribution box is separated from the socket branch, lighting branch and special branch, such as air conditioning, etc., to supply power to the corresponding electrical appliances. In order to facilitate the centralized installation of electricity meters and switching equipment in the building, also known as the electricity meter box, lighting distribution box can be divided into open installation and hidden installation, according to different installation methods. The surface-mounted box on the wall shall be fixed with expansion screws, and the surface-mounted box on the wall shall be fixed with cement mortar. The periphery of the panel shall be close to the wall. The opening of the box shall be made with a hole opener, and gas welding shall not be used to cut the hole. The metal frame and foundation profile steel of distribution box must be grounded reliably, PE. Wiring in the box shall be neat, protection line busbar and neutral line busbar shall be set separately. And the openable door equipped with electric appliance shall be connected to PE busbar with bare copper wire. Let's look at the indoor wiring. Indoor wiring divided into trunk part and branch part. Trunk line refers to the line connecting the main distribution box and the distribution box. The function is to transmit electrical energy to the distribution box. Its power distribution mode is also what we have talked about before. It can use radiation type, trunk type, hybrid type, and so on. The radial type is the distribution box of the front and rear stages. And there is a special line to connect. The trunk type is the previous distribution box. Can be brought out of the line. With a plurality of post-stage distribution boxes. In fact, in our general building distribution, the hybrid type is the most used. As shown in our figure, the distribution cabinet in the distribution room. Like the general fire control box, the control box of the living water pump, the control box of the emergency lighting. They are mainly radiation-oriented. And like the lighting system, they are mainly trunk type. Look at the branch part. It refers to the connection of the distribution of the electric box to the electrical equipment line function. Is to transmit electrical energy to the electrical equipment. The wiring principle of the branch line is that each lamp has a 2-wire switch, and a single line indicates a 3-phase balance. 2 lines per light means that each light wants it to light. Each light has 2 lines per light. Each light should be connected to the fire wire neutral line. The switch off fire means that the switch must be installed on the fire wire. Single line representation. No matter how many wires in each loop are represented by a line in the drawing. 3-phase balance means that the load of each phase line is basically the same. We know that our electricity is 3-phase electricity. When we introduce the power supply to the building, whether it is 3-phase 4-wire system or 3-phase 5-wire system, there will be 3-phase lines. And our general civil building users, we use 220 volts electricity. That is, as long as you choose a phase line to introduce with the neutral line. This time we are required to use the average of these 3-phase lines. Each box line lead to the same number of users. Finally, in the electrical lighting system, the commonly used electrical equipment mainly includes lamps and switches and sockets for controlling lamps. We've talked about lamps in previous videos. And here we're going to focus on switches and sockets. The lighting switch is divided into open and dark switches, according to the installation method. The concealed switch is first embedded in the bottom box. Only the panel is highlighted on the wall surface. The open-mounted switch is directly installed on the wall. The concealed lighting switch is composed of the bottom box, the mounting frame, the switch button, and the panel. This is the type of commonly used hidden lighting switch. Type 86 switch. The switch panel is square. The side length is 86 mm. The distance between the 2 bolts at the bottom box of the switch is 60 mm. This is the most common switch size. The Type 118 switch is also a very widely used electrical switch. The socket appearance is rectangular, divided into large, medium, and small models. And its functional parts: switches, sockets, telephones, TVS, computers, and panels can be combined at will. Small height 75 mm, length 118 mm. Socket bottom box bolt spacing 83.5 mm. Neutral panel height 75 mm, length 154 mm. The large panel is 75 mm high and 195 mm long. There are also 120 types of dark lighting switch models. There are 2 specifications. Rectangular 120 mm high, 70 mm wide. Square length and width are 120 mm. According to the number of switches on the panel, is divided into unipolar, bipolar, multi-stage switches, etc. Single pole refers to the same switch panel with only one key to control the load. Bipolar switch refers to the same switch panel with 2 keys to control the load. Multi-pole switch refers to the same switch panel with multiple keys to control the load. The figure shows a 4-level switch, which can be divided into single control and double control switches, according to the control mode. A single switch can only be controlled in one place. In the circuit wiring, the single control switch has only two lines. One is the live wire. One is the zero line. A single control switch has only two terminals. The switch is mounted on the fire wire. In the actual laying, the fire line and the neutral line are not separated from the live wire, and the neutral line are laid together. So for a lamp in our room with a single control switch, the neutral line and the live wire are connected to the lamp, but only the neutral line is connected to the lamp. The live wire is not connected to the lamp but the advanced switch. And then the wire is connected to the lamp. This creates a loop. Dual control switch refers to two switches or keys in different positions to control a load. There are three wiring holes on the back. The live wire into one of the dual control switches. There are two connecting wires between the dual control switches. The live wire is connected to the load after the other pair of control switches, and the neutral wire is directly connected to the load. When the first double-controlled switch closes down, the second switch closes up. The line is disconnected. When someone goes to the first switch, to change the direction of the switch is closed up. The second switch is unchanged. The line is connected. When the person goes to the second switch, to change the direction of the second switch, the line is disconnected. This is used for bedroom lights. A switch installed in the door. One installed in the bed. In this room, there is a light controlled by two single double control switches. The live wire and the neutral line together to the lamp. But only the neutral line is connected, etc. The live wire only enters the lower single double control switch. The lower two contact lines are connected to the upper single double control switch, and the upper single double control switch, and the live wire is connected to the lamp. In this way, two switches can control one and so on. The switch is generally up and down. When installing, the installation elevation in a unified place should be consistent, and the operation should be flexible and the contact should be reliable. The switch distance from the ground is generally 1.3 meters. The switch edge distance from the door frame is 0.15 to 0.2 meter. And it must not be installed on the backhand side of the door. Sockets are divided into open and dark sockets, according to the installation method. According to the function, it is divided into single-phase 2-pole socket, single-phase 3-pole socket, single-phase 2 3-pole socket, 3-phase 4-wire socket, etc. The single-phase socket provides 220 V voltage, with only one phase line and one neutral line. Let's look at this single-phase 2-level socket. Its zero line is connected to the left hole. Where's its wire? It's connected to the right hole. This is a single-phase 3-level socket, and the two holes below it are also connected to the neutral line on the left, and the live line on the right, and this hole above it. That's where the protective wire is connected. This is a single-phase 2-3 socket. What is the principle? Same as the previous single-phase socket. This is a single-phase 2-3 socket. Its boundary is the same as that of the single-phase socket. For the 3-phase 4-wire socket, it is to provide 380 volts electricity to connect 3-phase lines. There are two reverse sequence and sequential sequence. The reverse sequence is the 3-phase lines L1, L2, L3. Counterclockwise connection of the 3 holes. The reverse applies for clockwise. The above holes are connected to the protection line, the same place of the 3-phase socket. The grounding phase sequence is consistent. The installation elevation of the socket shall be consistent. General socket shall be 0.3 meter above the ground. In wet places, the sealed protective socket with protective ground wire contact shall be adopted. And the installation height shall not be less than 1.5 meters. The ground socket shall be flush with the ground or close to the ground. And the cover plate shall be fixed firmly and sealed well. These things we have described make up our electrical lighting system. That is all to this video. Welcome to continue to watch other videos of the construction equipment installation project course.